Howdy guys, Nathan here with a 1-year update of my very own, well it's my wife's, 2015 Mini Cooper Countryman All 4S. The S may go somewhere else, but it doesn't really matter. But with this 1-year update, I wanted to give you kind of like my top 5 things that I really love and I really dislike about this car. So let's do a little bit of a walk around, starting with what's under the hood. 181 horsepower engine that puts out 177 pound-feet of torque. I love it. Great. That's a number one love. It's hooked up to a 6-speed manual transmission. It's a turbocharged engine. It doesn't have a lot of lag, which I really like. You know what else I like? The economy. It's not bad, unless I'm driving. So I can get up to 31 miles per gallon on the highway, according to Mini. My average has been around 24 miles per gallon, so it's still pretty good, considering the fact that I drive like an idiot. One other thing, this vehicle, and it weighs like 3,200 pounds, is very fleet of foot. One of the cool things about it is that it has an all-wheel drive system. And the way they set this up, basically the Germans, is they have this as a front-wheel drive car that, when needed, can send up to 100% of the torque to the rear wheels. And I put that into action. This thing has survived a very severe Colorado winter. And we took it through the hills. It's been on 2 major road trips. And in this year of COVID, it's put on less than 10,000 miles. Regardless, we still driven the crap out of it. We being mostly my wife. This is her car that I get to steal occasionally and have fun with. In the snow, with these all-season tires, I have outperformed almost everything else out there. I scamper over the snow when I see large trucks and SUVs stuck. It's one of the best snow cars I've driven, I kid you not. Now, I know a lot of you guys are asking about longevity and reliability. It is a Mini Cooper, and Mini Coopers are pretty much known for not having the most reliable setup. Well, in less than 10,000 miles, nothing's gone wrong. Knock on metal and plastic, I guess. It has performed very well. We've driven it pretty hard. As I said, a couple major road trips, including one from Denver to Los Angeles and another one to Oklahoma. It's a story in itself. So, this vehicle has had 2 oil changes since we've had it, and in that time, there was one bracket that was wiggling a little bit, so they replaced it under warranty. Now, I did buy it through Carvana. Carvana has mixed reviews. I've had a good experience, but I've known people who have had terrible experiences. I recommend you go online and research that. So we're not going to talk about the buying process, but I will talk about the fact that this vehicle is actually pretty comfortable for 4, but not for 5. One of my dislikes is the fact that although it does have room for a third person in the back, the way it's set up isn't that comfortable. Another dislike, well, come on over here. Now this is partially my wife's thing because she sort of demasculated the car with stickers and stuff like this. But we got essentially a base model. So we got this really cool panoramic sunroof, which works great. And she loves it. But it seems like because we got this low version, we got a crap radio. It's not very good. Another thing I really dislike is the instrumentation. I know it's Mini and it's supposed to have that big thing in the middle, but I really don't like it that much. I just rather have everything in front of me, which there's smaller versions of it, you know, in terms of your speedometer and whatnot. Not a big deal. But I did want to show you something interesting. This car can hold quite a bit. I'm going to open this up. Ready for a surprise? That's right, it can hold a whole motorcycle. Damn straight. That's a 350, baby. It's a special razor from McGrath. Actually, the guys at TFL Bike are driving these and off-road. So there are videos coming out very soon with the boys having some fun. And this is really a cool little pit bike for someone who weighs pretty, 1/3 of my weight. But the storage area in there is actually about the equivalent of a Mazda 3. CX-3, I should say. 41.3 cubic feet of space combined. And we've put a ton of boxes in here. During COVID, we had like canned food in giant boxes stuffed in there. And it was pretty impressive. It's a very square space, very easy to use. I really do like that. And one thing I don't like is that if I were to put up the rear seats here, I have 18 cubic feet of cargo space. So in other words, these go up, and essentially this little thing here, that's all the space that's available. It's not too bad. I just wish there was a little bit more, which is why Mini, in their infinite wisdom, with their updates to this vehicle, have made it bigger in every dimension. There is an unfortunate thing about that new Mini though, the Mini Cooper Countryman for 2021, they're getting rid of the manual transmission option. And it's much more of a SUV. Now they do call this a crossover. It's not, it's a hatchback. The only thing that kind of looks crossover-like is the fact that we added roof rack up there. That's right, those rails are actually added on by moi, specifically because we go on road trips and we've got to hold stuff. That stuff has to go up on the roof because there's no way we can hold cargo inside the vehicle with the kids at the same time. It's just impossible. So I put these up there. By the way, they're really cheap. I do not recommend buying the mini ones, which are ridiculously expensive. Just go to Amazon or someone like that. Find an equivalent. You'll save a ton of dough. So you guys were wondering about another thing I dislike about this vehicle? Well, I want to tell you all about this key fob. Now, recently, Mini has made it so you just need this on you to start the car. But their older Minis, you actually have to insert this, plug it in order to start the vehicle, which is a royal pain in the neck. But let me show you something else that I really dislike about this. The car, with its standard security system, basically I have 3 buttons here. Okay, 3 buttons are pretty simple, right? Let me show you what happens when I lock the car. That's it. Lights, and you can hear the locks. Do you hear a beep? There's no beep. I know the horn works. I just used it this morning. When I unlock it, same thing. No beep. I know beeps are really, really ridiculous, but when you're walking away from a car and you lock it, you kind of need that audible thing to tell you, oh yeah, it's locked, as you're walking away. And I know that sounds petty, but it's actually something that really annoys me. So this key fob really represents 2 things I dislike about the car. The fact that I have to plug it in order to start it, and the fact that it really doesn't have what I consider a very convenient security system. So the bottom line here is this vehicle has absolutely impressed me. I'm much happier with this purchase than I was initially when I made the purchase. My wife adores this car and drives it really, really fast. It's a quick little bugger. It's not a Subaru WRX, but you know what? It's got a lot more personality than one. So bottom line here is that this vehicle in 1 year has outperformed my expectations. It's proven to be economical, it's proven to be fun, and it's proven to be very capable in the snow. All right, so that's the 1 year update. I'm hoping to give you another update in another year, and hopefully it'll be just as rosy. Thanks for joining me for the Fastlane Car and 19 other channels that we have. This is Nathan. I'll see you next time. But wait, there's more, because right after we shot the video about the 1 year anniversary of this car and how great things were, something went wrong. Simply put, the headlights stopped working. Now this was crazy because I mean literally as I was driving home I noticed there was something wrong and there was no warning light. What happened was the prior owner, because this was bought used, this is a 2015, the prior owner had messed with the headlights trying to make them HID, and by doing so had done a poor job. Now unfortunately, when Carvana bought this vehicle off that person, they didn't do quite enough with their inspection to find that flaw. And what happened was, after apparently a year, the whole thing went down. Not only did the headlights fail, they completely failed. No high beams, no nothing, and no warning light. Fuses didn't work, nothing worked. So, this is what happened. I had to take it over to Mini and spend quite a bit of time putting a list together of what was needed for these lights. What they had to do was completely replace the headlights, the housings, the whole 9 yards, because there were holes drilled into it. Ballast was under it. I didn't know about any of this. I didn't see it when I inspected the car myself because it wasn't something I was really looking for, and apparently neither did the people who did the inspection. So what I did was I brought it over to Mini, Champ Mini here in Colorado, and they were great. They said, listen, we've never seen this before, which is something you never want to hear mechanics say, but we're gonna try with your warranty company through Carvana and see if they'll fix it. Well, the warranty company said no. That was a problem. So I called Carvana, and after seriously 6 hours waiting on the phone back and forth, I'm not even exaggerating, it was almost the whole day, finally got through to the right person and they set everything right. Nearly $1,800 later, these headlights were replaced. Warranty company took care of it. I paid for an oil change. So there you go. Another little piece to this car's history. I do not blame Minnie for that. It was the former owner who apparently had a mosquito brain.